Hello and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this episode, we will take a look at the altar from ancient mythology and a lot of mythologies. An altar is a raised structure or table in a place of worship used for religious rituals, offerings, sacrifices, or prayers, serving as a focal point for devotion, covenant, or consecration, and is found across many faiths and cultures, like Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and paganism, often symbolizing a meeting place with the divine. The altar can of course be found in the Milky Way center. So let's take a look at the Milky Way. So basically the altar is the border between the spirit and the mortal realm, our world, or the materialistic world, or you know what I mean. And let's see if we can find the altar. The very ancient altars was mostly a rock with a fire where you could do your offerings. So let's start drawing the altar. Here we got, let me take a color here. Yeah, there it was. The stone or the rock altar is the striped shadow here. And on top of this altar, we got the spirit fire, the light of the disc, golden disc in the Milky Way center. So it's here, the spirit gets into the mortal world, and the mortal world can give something back into the spirit. So it's a two-way rail station, so to speak. But here you see the very ancient altar. And just for a side note, the striped shadow is also, the stripes inside the striped shadow is also often used as the firewood, the wood to make the fire. And maybe there is no altar, but then a fire is made for the offerings. So this is also the wood for the fire. All right. Let's take a look at the modern altar. And that's what you see down there in the corner of the video. This is a typical altar. It contains the most basic elements of the altars around the world, the churches and the temples and cathedrals and churches and so on. And the modern altar got some basic elements, which is of course they stand, they always stand higher than the ground, on a hill or on top of some steps on a plateau, or always higher. And the stairs up to the plateau is the striped shadow. This is the steps to the altar. And the altar itself, the table, is the striped shadow here. We could also put it this way, but it is the striped shadow. And let me see here. And on the altar, you often see some form of light. It could be candle lights or light stands, or it could be flowers, or all kind of things. But the lights could be. This is the stripe shadow here is the candle lights, which are lit by the main light, because the golden light emerging from the disc is like glittering or making light spots in the stripe shadow. So this is the light for all the lights on the altar. And it could also contain just one big light, because this is also the light stand here, with the fire on top here. So you decide which model you like. They're both used one way or another. The glowing light from the disc is the light on the altar, no matter which form it takes. The spirit light. Okay, and then the altar got 2 pillars and an arch above. And let us see if we can find them. The 2 pillars is the 2 shadows here on each side of the disc. But let me draw them like this. Wait, let me take another color. You can see this blue one. This is better. Here you got a pillar, and here you got a pillar, which is the 2 shadows here. And above the pillars you got the arch, and the arch is this area above the disc. And this is, by the way, the arch used in every ancient architecture. That's the idea of making arches. Or almost maybe 99%, because the last percent is because an arch is very strong. And some clever guy revealed that back in the time. So, but this is the origin of the arch in mythology and symbolics. And then we got the table here, and we got the stairs. And then I think we got the complete altar. And of course the Milky Way here is the background of the altar. And it can contain all kind of symbols. Everything related to the Milky Way, of course. Everything can be found in the Milky Way. Okay, and then in the Abrahamic or Christian altars, there is a cross in the middle of the altar, always in the middle. And the reason for the cross is the cross point is where the black shadows in the Milky Way, or the dark shadows, is meeting. The cross point, or as I like to say, X marks the spot where the divine and mortal world meets. And that's, of course, in the middle of the altar, where you can get in contact with the divine world, or vice versa. Okay, now you know where to find the altar. So that was all for this video, but I will come up with a new video soon, and until then, take care. Bye.